Welcome to Worlds Collide, a wrestling card podcast for wrestling fans by wrestling fans, featuring Tony Vella from WrestlingTradingCards.com.
This is like a stock market.
And Zhan Morning from Wrestling with Cards on YouTube. And I'm not saying there's a right or wrong answer, I'm just posing the question. Join them as they navigate the world of wrestling cards, helping you build a bigger and better collection and making some money along the way. What is up, wrestling fans and trading card collectors? Back again. Well, I'm back. Tony, are you there? Tony. Oh, there he is. He's coming out of the pool.
Oh, just got out of storage.
Oh, wait. That's my mistake. I thought he was coming out of the pool from his Scrooge McDuck coins that he was swimming in from the sales, from the storage unit sales, which you guys missed out on that. You better not miss out next time.
If we have another one, it seems like people like that. So, we've only scratched the surface.
Yep. There's no time. I'll tell you what I want. If that Impel printing press is available, I want a piece of that.
The printing press.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll break it down. We'll break it down for you. I'll finally retire it.
Yep. And I'll have a piece of officially used printed WCW Impel cards straight from the press. What a relic that would be.
I did share with you after we stopped, after we went live. I did share with you what I actually called you. Yeah. And you picked up the phone actually, which was like, I put it on my calendar. It's like a holiday for me. And then you actually picked up the phone, and I was like, "Hey, dude, you never guess what I just picked up just now." I was like going through another box before we left, and here's what I found. And yeah, there's some really cool stuff. Yeah,
I was kind of blown away. I'm like, okay, this is at least another 2 shows worth.
It was, one of the things I will tell you, I found, I'm pretty sure I shared with you, those WCW phone cards.
Yes.
I think I sent you the image. Didn't I send you a picture of it?
Super clean, and you don't ever see those, specifically that one.
First off, it's what I found is like minty mint, like never even been scratched, nothing on it, right? And I went online on eBay to see, I found some that were being sold. And someone had they're all autographed by Hogan apparently. And it's like, they're only going for like $47, $50. I go, this can't be autographed by Hogan if it's only going for $47. First off. Secondly, they were all scratched off the back. Okay. Thirdly, they were all numbered out of something like 1,500 or 15,000, whatever that was, right? But the one I pulled of that Hogan one, it's minty mint, man. Number 00000 of 00000. I'd never seen that before.
I've seen those, and I have never seen one numbered like that.
Yeah. So my wife goes, "Hey, if that guy can put a $500,000 Jericho up there, he should put $10,000 phone card."
Why not? Yeah,
why not?
All right,
but that's not what we're talking about today.
No, today we're talking about maybe the guy who maybe he has this. Maybe he's curated these WCW phone cards into the warehouse, since he has a hand in that now, and that would be Triple H.
Yeah. This is your card, Triple H. We need to get like a theme song for this and put it out there, like, this is your life.
You know what? I got a good idea. I don't know why this just popped into my head, but the guy who used to sing William Regal's "He's a Man, He's a Man's Man."
Yeah.
Have that guy sing "This Is Your Card." Like,
this is your card. This is your card.
It's got a good ring to it. I like it.
Right.
All right. So Triple H has got approximately 1,500, give or take, a few hundred. What do you think? Like, first of all, I know he's been around that long, and it seems like a lot of cards, but in my mind, I would think he would have a way more than that, as many as we've seen him in.
Yeah, I mean, he's pretty much featured in every card that comes out, isn't he? I mean,
yeah.
If it's not an NXT branded card, say he's like in everything.
Yeah, he may be wearing a suit. It may be a throwback to the Attitude Era with DX. It might be, when
Does he get lumped in the Legends categories now? Does he get lumped in that? Okay.
Yep. Yeah, so he's in all kinds of stuff. Let's start with the rookie card or the first card. I'm sure this one is going to get some heat from some people who have stakes in these.
Yeah, you and I, looking over our notes, you and I are both in agreement on that 95 Panini.
Yep. It's hard to deny what comes out first. Clearly, that has come out first.
I mean, granted, it's so hard to come by. And I know that Paul from the Price Guide, who is the only guy I know on this planet has a complete set. Well, I think Husker has one as well, I think. If not, definitely it's just Paul. And again, there's something that we've talked in another episode before where people like to take a particular item and kind of shove it out there in your face, like kind of thing. He's not doing that per se. I think he's just making it more aware.
Sure.
He's not selling anything. He's not looking to say, hey, I want you to make my card more valuable. I have the only 95 panini set that wrestling card collectors have. Make my card more valuable. He's putting it out there for like, hey, be aware. These do exist and I have them. There's no denying. It came out. It's the first card of his that came out.
Yeah, there's I think there's 4 of them.
There's 4 in that set of him. Yes. Yeah.
So it's one of those things where do you count all of them? Do you count one of them? But then the argument that I could see a lot of people making is that magazine card that came out. I think it's card 62 is what I have down, the WWF magazine. We've seen so many people wanting to make a market for that. We've seen people market for the 97 Panini stickers, the 97 Cardinal trivia game cards.
Yep.
So it's an interesting thing where here we clearly have the first card by year that he ever had, but it's such a rare card that people they can't get it. So where do you stand on a like kind of iconic card where, okay, yes, it is more rare, but nobody can get it, as opposed to this is kind of rare and more people can
I
get
put
it.
the same, here's how I'll put that. Everybody universally agrees, I would think, that the 86 Fleer is Jordan's rookie.
Sure.
That's what the market's dictated. That's what everybody goes towards, what they want. There's older cards of him that are harder to come by, actually. But that's the one everybody wants to go after. This is the same thing, I think. I do think that something in that late 90s era is going to be more of his Jordan card, I think. I would go with the 98 Superstars. That's me. I think that's the first pack pool card that you can get from him, I think. I don't know how Panini ones were actually distributed, so they probably were in packs. But it's like it's near impossible to find. I mean, somebody somewhere is in a warehouse with a pallet of like all these Panini cards that, hey, boss, just leave it there, boss. Just leave it there. We'll get to it eventually. You know, it's just, I understand it's the first appearance. It's the first card. I'm going to go with the 98 Superstars as that's the card. That's going to be the flagship card to have of him. I think that's going to be his true pack pulled, just widely distributed card that you should probably go after. That's my opinion.
I see the argument there. I can't really argue against it. I like all of them. Like
I do too.
I think they're all like, they all kind of have their place, which is why I like to just sit back and, you know, in full transparency, I think the 98 card that you spoke of is like the only one that I have a few like copies of. They're not graded or anything. But and I have some of the Cardinal, the 97 card. I don't think I have any of the Paninis, and I clearly don't have the 95 Panini. But I think it's one of those things where I'll just kind of sit back and watch what happens and see what people decide on.
You know what? As we always say, just buy them all, collect them all, and that way you got them all. Yep. You sit on all of them, you're guaranteed success.
Yep. Enough on that. Let's move on to our favorite card. I've got 2. The Undisputed and Transcendent autos. It's a newer set. He had a different look at the time. I actually liked his more modern look. Like it's really short, you know, the buzzed hair and physique and stuff. There's just something about it. Like he looked a little bit more intimidating, I think, than he did in the 90s. So I was like, he's a little bit more of a believable wrestler. You know, I talk about big Karrion Kross fan because he's so believable. And I think that's how Triple H came across to me. And the Undisputed designs kind of accent that. They're more gritty looking. The designs are darker.
And I love that. I love that card stock too.
Yes. Yeah, that adds to it. And the autos, which we'll probably talk about in a minute, is like it's not like he doesn't sign, but you just don't see as many Triple H autos. And then there's another one, 2018 Road to WrestleMania, which is random, but it's probably just because I like music that I noticed that the background of this card looks like Eddie Van Halen's guitar that's like world famous now.
The Frankenstein.
I absolutely love that thing. So those are my 2 favorite cards, or I guess 3.
Yeah. I kind of like, I went and had to go look at that up like that. I do like that design from that Road to WrestleMania. It's really cool. And then Undisputed stuff. I love that stuff. But for me, speaking of autographs, you're right. He doesn't sign too often. And more of the modern stuff now in the last 5 years or so. He signed a lot more than he ever used to sign. But I go back to the 2002 All Access Off the Mat autograph card.
Yep.
I love that card. I used to own that card. It was gifted to me from a sales rep from Fleer after they went out of business. And she sent it to me. It was from their vault, she said, and like a care package to me. I regret getting rid of those cards to this day because they were just some of the hardest cards to pull from Fleer stuff. And it was, you know, it had the HHH, the games like that on that big chunk of mat in the middle, like that. It actually signed on the mat, unlike the other people who took the name of the card a little too literally, off the mat autograph. And it had big blood splots on it as well too from the ring. And so it was just a killer card. I love that card. It's by far my favorite Triple H card.
This is kind of off topic, but now that, like, I just heard you talk about that specific card, do you think any of your mentality as far as holding these things currently has changed at all? Like, I'm not saying you're never going to sell something, but do you ever find yourself wanting to hang on to something a little bit longer just from what you've learned in the past? Or are you just like profits?
I think so. Yeah, I'm more of the profit kind of thing right now, but there's certain things that I do regret going. That kind of brings me back to a time when, one, that off the mat graph, first off, even though I never pack pulled it, I didn't get the redemption to send it in for that one because that was done by redemptions. That was such a cool thing. Like, wow, this is like the first Triple H autograph card. Like, he doesn't have any other autograph cards at the time. And it was like, it's so cool with the blood on it. This is awesome. I love that. And then I got offered at the time. I thought I got offered something too, you know, it was too good to pass up. You know, now I learned more over the years. I'm sure I'll probably let other things go. And I'm kind of a little more nostalgic about certain things now that I might just keep. I'm a PC collector for Kurt Angle stuff, so that's kind of like a no-brainer for me. But I got rid of those, like the garbage can one. I wish I would have kept that. I've learned some stuff, and I probably would still be sitting on that card.
Yeah, so we've listed some really cool cards. Let's go on to some not so cool cards, and I think we're kind of in the same boat. And it brings up another topic we can mention, but mine is just the sporadic base card releases from Topps.
Yeah, same.
Like, throughout the years, whether it's a throwback to the Attitude Era, whether it's, like I said, him standing in a suit, him with Stephanie just standing in the ring.
Yeah, there's just like some boring representation of, the cerebral assassin here. It's like that. It's like kind of a boring thing. It's like, okay, the card pictures you're choosing now, I guess, does fit your role as being a corporate guy now, because you're boring.
Yeah.
But stuff like when Comic Game just put those things out, and him on the on the corner of the turnbuckles like that, for his picture, or the picture with the whole DX group together and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. But yeah, a lot of that when Topps took over, sometimes I know they're limited by what WWE gives them, but it's just some poor choices. Some poor choices of imaging, and a lot of it's images for him, not just card designs, because some of the card designs are kind of as well.
That's my whole thing. Yeah. And I think that's what, a lot of times you can have like a generic talent or maybe not such a great picture. I mean, prime example is the Hulk Hogan PMG. Like, that picture of Hogan is not that great, but the card is what makes it cool. It's because of the design. So it's just what you're saying.
Sometimes you could take a lower tier talent, guy on that roster and make it really pop and look great. I think that the WrestleMania 20 set from Fleer, there's such a cool Ultimate Dragon picture in that one with like the whole background. And he wasn't a big guy for that company, but here's a guy that got a kick-ass looking trading card, man.
Right. And it just brings up something else that we've talked about a little bit, but it's just Topps. Like, it seems like when they took over, everything just went downhill, and we would just kind of sporadically get something really cool. And I just wish they had put out way less product, which drives up demand. They could charge more, make the same amount of money, but put out some good product that people actually want instead of just filler.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know. I guess nobody cares about our opinions.
No, we're just the consumers. Who cares about the consumer?
All right, cards to invest in. I've got the 95 Panini, but again, like, you can't find that. So
yeah,
it is. I mean,
if it crosses your table, don't let it pass.
Speaking of that, my next one was the off the mat auto. I couldn't tell you the last time I saw one of those available, even on eBay or something. And then lastly, I'm just going to go back to the autos. I said I was going to go back to those. I just think whether it's sticker, on card, I think he's kind of at the point now, especially in the McMahon family. He's going to be a part of the company as long as the company is going to be around.
Sure.
So I'm not going to say they're going to have, clearly not even close, but you know how people kind of look at Vince autos now and like, he's not really a talent. He's hardly ever on camera, but people still kind of want them for his like legacy.
Well, I mean, he still never signed before. So anything you're getting in the last 5 years or so, wherever he started signing, it's going to be like, you're talking a guy who's what, 75 or something. I mean, he's he's no spring chicken here. So, I mean, you're going to want to invest in these things because the day comes when some of these guys pass away. You're going to be like, I should have collected more stuff of his, man. I really should have collected more stuff. Now's the time to get it.
Yeah, and I just think that I've always said this, on card or sticker, if you have a pack pullable autograph card of anybody in wrestling, even indie guys, like there's just something about the on card auto or sticker. I keep saying that. The autographs just seem to really not go down in value in wrestling. Now they may go down from when you pulled them in a pack, but if you bought it at $5, I generally don't see it going down past $5.
Yeah, but some things never even go up at all. I mean, there's a slew of stuff. I do my monthly recaps with Paul from the Price Guide, and there's still plentiful autographs out there at $5, $7, $10 a card.
They're just not going up.
It's just not going up.
You think that's a wrestling card thing, or do you think it's something else?
I don't know if it's a wrestling card thing or is it just across sports. I don't do other sports. I wouldn't know. I mean, I can tell you firsthand, like even if it was a past star, if they're not currently in the limelight, like say it's a legend, like a really big Hall of Fame legend football player from the 90s, and you pull one of their relic cards, like it's maybe worth a couple bucks. Yeah, which is sad to me, but and wrestling suffers the same thing. Ring mat cards, just a piece of the ring mat, for relics on it. I mean, we make jokes about that all the time. And then there's like low tier guys at autograph cards you can literally pick up for $5, $6, $7.
I still, if you're gonna buy singles of those guys, though, I still just think autographs are like the go-to purchase. But of course, like my logic with Triple H is because all of the years he was wrestling, he didn't seem to sign that much. No,
not at all. Because he was originally supposed to sign on a War Booty autograph card from that Raw is War set from Fleer. He never signed. So those redemptions, they fulfilled those mostly with off the mat autograph cards, but sometimes they would just tell you, we don't have any more of those. We'll send you a Torrie Wilson or something like that. So you want to go with whatever you had selected? For my worst cards? Or cards invested? Yeah, the same thing. Cards invested, 95 Panini, obviously, if you can find it. I'm still a big believer in that 98 Comic Images Superstar set. It's just that's when he became known, kind of thing. I mean, it's kind of where it's just, I think it's the first widely released pack pulled type of trading cards like that. And I kind of a believer in that. So I think it's a good card to have. Something else I will add on top of that for people who think maybe Tony's right, but maybe this card is just a little bit too boring or not rare enough or something like that. Try to go grade these things. Exactly. They do not grade very well at all. As wonderful as that card set is, I like the thick card stock, but because of that thick card stock, the edges will always chip on you a lot, both front and back. So it's really hard to get a high grade on Comic Images stuff. It just is. All right, so this is the best part of the show. It's my favorite part. Every time we do these, the cards that you would create. I'll let you start. I want to go back and either do two things. I either want to get an autographed relic of a sledgehammer. Oh wait, so can we? It is our show. We can do what we want. Whatever we want. It's going to be a redemption and come in the Harry Potter thing, like you told you about. It's the whole top of the sled. I never thought about that, but that's not a bad idea, actually. Or how cool would that be? Like a redemption card for an autographed sledgehammer.
That'd be sweet.
Well, it's not really a card anymore now. Now it's just I'm trading a redemption. It's not even a card. I'm trading a redemption for a tool. I don't get it, but no, it'd be kind of cool, like to have like a, they do it with a table. You could shave some of the wood from the wood handles like that. You can even they did it with trash can lids and a metal chair. Why not, cut off that sledgehammers like that and get metal shavings like that.
I don't know if you've seen it, but a lot of times they will put out baseball cards with the top of the barrel or the bottom of the handle, the full wooden piece.
Same thing.
So,
yeah. I say either that, or I would love to have a dual signature with like Lemmy.
That wraps up our last episodes that we've talked about as far as celebrities and musicians, and how perfect would that be?
That'd be so awesome. I mean, obviously, if I can go back and bring Lemmy back to life anyways, I do that first.
Right.
Secondly, I would have him say, okay, while you're still here, because I don't know how much longer you have. Okay, I brought you back temporarily. Sign these cards now.
Yeah, and clearly, like, a lot of times we see the attachment between a wrestler and a celebrity, and we think, it may not be like a real friendship or a relationship or something, maybe like a paid thing that they're
sure. But those guys had a friendship.
Yes, like specifically, I remember watching Triple H speak at Lemmy's funeral, and I was like, man, he's showing up here and he's still using Motorhead's music. Like it's a legit thing. And
he wrote more than one song. I mean, he wrote 2 songs for Triple H, one for Evolution. So there's definitely a friendship there. So I just think it'd be kind of cool. It bridges things for me because I'm the one designing. It bridges me, my love of wrestling and my love of music, and puts them together, kind of thing for me. And I just Lemmy's God. So.
What is that? Is it Airheads?
Airheads, yes.
Yeah.
Good pull. Good pull.
It reminds me too, like
because he's in that movie,
right? And it reminds me of like those products that Leaf puts out, where it's like you got 6 autographs and it's the most random names, and you're like, this is so cool. Like it's random, but it's cool, and that's kind of how I think you would appeal to different segments of the hobby with that. So that's a good call.
What do you got?
I've got, okay, let me backtrack. Last time we did the Paul E. Dangerously, Paul Heyman.
Yeah.
This is your card. I wanted a booklet. This is going to be a similar thing, but also tying into the Leaf autographs I just spoke about, where you see, 6, 7, 8 people, double-sided card with all these autographs, and you're like, these are just randomly thrown together. So what I would choose is a McMahon family on-card auto set. Vince, Linda, Shane, Stephanie, Triple H. And it only would be numbered out of 5.
That's not good, because it's really numbered all 5 of them.
Yep.
Has Shane signed autographs?
I believe so, yes.
He has signed?
I think I've seen them sporadically, yes.
Okay. I just, I would imagine from like Transcendent probably, or Undisputed or something, right?
Yeah.
It's got to be a higher end product.
Also, I want to throw in, speaking of talking about these guys, there's some really cool dual autos of Triple H and Stephanie. So that's be something else as far as like investment purposes. I mean, you're dealing with the heads of the company at that point. Of course. So I mean,
yeah, that's a no-brainer right there. I think those are 100% no-brainer investments right there.
All right, so where do you think the future of Triple H and Triple H cards is going to go?
I personally, for me now, the future can only go up, because I think he's currently grossly undervalued, and we use this term a lot. Like we talk about, people are like, we use the word legend too much. We use this, but I think there's a lot as a whole. Wrestling cards as a whole is undervalued. But when you start nitpicking about certain superstars, I think someone at a Triple H status who is clearly a legend in the business is grossly undervalued for his contributions to the business. So he doesn't have a lot of signatures out there like a lot of these other guys. He's not like John Cena, who also is a legend, whether you love him or hate him. He's still a legend.
I will say though that Cena, even we think he has a lot of signatures out there, but when you put it in the grand scheme of things, he doesn't. Like,
I mean, I think he's walking the fine line of does and doesn't. I think there was many releases in a row that it was guaranteed you're getting a Cena autograph in the set. Almost every release when Topps took over beginning, there was a Cena autograph card.
Do you think
every single one?
I just don't see them that often for, like,
I think maybe people are probably wising up. Maybe I'm hoping that they're wising up that, hey, John Cena, as a legend. I mean, this is something I should be investing in. This guy has been the face of the company for longer than pretty much any other superstar in history. Yeah, maybe it's the same thing, but I think that Triple H is grossly undervalued. He's definitely going to be a long-term investment for you. I think you need to buy now, even though if you might think that he's expensive now, he's only going to get way more expensive once he retires from doing anything WWF related, WWE related, long after he's passed away, long in the next generation of people, he's going to be looked upon as one of the best that's ever been in the company. Again, that's just a generalization. It's like that. Maybe I may not believe that, but it's just you got nowhere to go up with this guy, man. I don't think that his cards are ever going to be go down any further.
Yeah, I've got to agree with you. It's now that I think about it, and being full transparent, I don't own a lot of these things. It's still stuff I've been wanting to buy, and then just other things have come along. And there's AEW cards going on. Okay, well, there's money going to there. There's this Karrion Kross 1-of-1 that popped up. Okay, well, my money's going. You know what I mean? So in full transparency, I don't own some of this stuff, but we talk about when people are able to transcend into pop culture. I think Triple H has kind of done that in the realm of wrestling because he was a talent. He's worked with NXT. He's now even higher up in WWE. Whenever a national sports team wins a championship, who's usually the person that presents them with their custom championship belt? Mm-hmm. Triple H and Stephanie. Yeah. So I think we talked about Paul Heyman last time of how he's had different roles that have spanned several different generations. Triple H is now getting to that point, and like hypothetically, he could jump in the ring right now if he wanted to and face The Rock, and it would draw, and he would do. I think he would probably still be able to pull it off.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. I think that he could still tell a good story in the ring, probably, but the future is whatever he and Stephanie are going to make for this company, obviously, because we all know that they're going to be the ones that are going to lead it into the next years like that. So what they do with it between now and then, will that hurt, him at all from a collector standpoint? I don't know. I don't think so.
Did it hurt Ric Flair after the last?
No, it didn't. I had this conversation as well too, not too long ago, and there's some guys. I hate to say that they use that term. There's just some guys that are just bulletproof, man. And it's like outside of doing something extremely heinous, not to condone what it is that they're did on this episode like that, because it was all very wrong stuff. It's just there's just some people for whatever reason. I mean, Hogan had his controversies and he was welcome back, and collectors never stopped collecting him.
It's slightly off topic, but there are still people out there buying Benoit cards.
Of course, absolutely. Yeah. It's not even off topic. It's a perfect example. Yeah. It's just people still buy things for whatever their reason may be, because I was a big believer in him and I liked his in-ring style, so I'm going to go ahead. It was my favorite growing up, or I'm just buying it for some sort of obscure, demented reason. I mean, who knows? But everybody collects for different reasons.
Now that we say that too, that's just another reason why I like wrestling cards over every single other type of cards, because just when you think something is going to plummet in value, not that that's what we're doing this for.
No.
But just when you think, these, my Ric Flair PC is just, it's not gonna be worth anything now. Nope, it's just the opposite. So
yeah, it's just and again, it's not to say like, do bad things, you're gonna be rewarded with high values. No, I mean, nobody's condoning that behavior. No one's, saying applauding him for that kind of stuff. The exact opposite. And so any ridicule that someone like him or anybody else gets because of their actions, deserves that. But from a hobby standpoint and a collecting standpoint, does it hurt some of these guys? In other sports, it seems to. Doesn't seem to hurt too much in wrestling for some reason, for whatever reason that may be.
It's a very strange thing that I didn't really put the correlation to until we were just now talking about it.
Yeah, it's weird. So, I don't say like, hey, yay for us wrestling fans, so you can go out and do stupid things and we're still going to collect you. No, it's just, obviously that's not 100% true. No one's collecting Joey Ryan stuff. No one's collecting Velveteen Dream stuff.
The Joey Ryan thing is actually a very valid point.
Yeah. I mean, that guy's been completely blacklisted from the entire industry. It's like that. So, again, so there's certain people, it's about, I guess someone said like, he's a made man. And there's some level of truth there in some respect, I guess.
Right or wrong.
Yeah. Right or wrong. I mean, there's some level of truth there, I guess. But, I guess the higher you're up in that popularity or legend totem pole, maybe the more you're, the less you're likely to get hurt in your value. Like, I can guarantee the last thing he's thinking about is like, oh my God, now my trading cards will be worth nothing.
Oh, of course.
I mean, but from a collector standpoint, it didn't seem to hurt at all.
Yeah, I'm surprised some of those guys even know they have trading cards. I mean, you run into that.
Sure, all the time. I mean, sometimes it's almost like they know they have trading cards. Like there's so many. I'm like, we're talking about Triple H here. He's got close to 1,600 according to the database. Trading cards that they know of, and I'm sure he hasn't seen them all. And someone comes to him one day and I've never seen this card before. It's like, oh, that's from the 2021. Blah, 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 blah. It's like, well, I didn't even know it existed. I mean,
right.
It's just they don't have time to look at that kind of stuff.
Well, I think we're both on the same page that Triple H is probably a pretty good buy as long as you're buying the right stuff, not the crappy random Topps base cards that they're just throwing out there. But the autographs, those early 98 cards, the 95 Paninis, any of the 97 stuff, the magazine card, I think all that stuff's a good choice. So,
and everything we always talk about, it's a running theme through every one of these episodes that we do about This Is Your Card, which is, and I think it's the case with everything going forward too. If it's paralleled, numbered, you can't go wrong with that kind of stuff because you're already taking a product that in the industry of collectibles is already smaller than everything else.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're taking that and you're taking a regular card out of that one person that's now smaller from the rest of the set. Then you're taking that one card and giving it a parallel. It's not even smaller. And now you have it numbered. It's even smaller. I mean, you can't go wrong with numbered stuff. You just can't.
Right. And even if the demand on that specific talent, hypothetically, let's use Velveteen Dream. Okay.
Sure.
Perfect example. I know a lot of people that were buying his stuff, and I wasn't, but I was like, this guy seems like he's different. He's got something going. He's very charismatic, and hypothetically, he's not doing anything that we know of. There still could be collectors of his out there right now that are still buying. Yeah, and that's the thing with a hobby, whether it's wrestling or sports, non-sport, whatever it is. There's always going to be a segment out there. So what you're saying is sound advice, because all it takes is like that one player collector to find that really obscure parallel, and you could turn that into something you really wanted.
Sure.
If
I don't care if you're a Brock Lesnar, Hulk Hogan collector, or a Sin Cara collector, or if it's numbered, if it's paralleled and numbered, I mean, the less quantity there is of something, I think of a particular level of something, you can't go wrong in that. You just can't go wrong.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for listening. I hope we were able to help you out with some Triple H cards, with some information maybe you didn't know about some of these cards, or maybe it gives you some ideas on what to buy, what not to buy. Just again, have fun at the end of the day.
Tony, ain't no financial advisor over here.
So yeah,
says the guy who sold his off the mat graph autograph card.
Speaking of that, where could they find some information about the off the mat autograph card, and where can they find you?
You can go to wrestlingtradingcards.com. You can find all of our social media stuff on the bottom of every page there for Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I'm not very big on the Instagram one, just so you know. I do try to check it at least once every other day. It should be every day, but my phone is a little older. It's an iPhone 8, and I think it's about time to upgrade it because I'm not getting notifications for my social media stuff anymore.
I have the perfect phone that you need to get.
Okay,
I'll give Paul Heyman a call.
Yeah, at least I'll get no notifications that way. Sometimes, what happened yesterday, with the whole meltdown of Facebook, Instagram, that might be a good thing.
Yeah, no kidding. And
get out there, people. Get out there and enjoy some sunlight. Smell the flowers.
And speaking of that, you can, if everything's down, if the apocalypse has happened, you can still go over to Wrestling with Cards and check out some great videos somehow. I'm sure it will still be up.
It'll be up.
And you can check out.
There'll be cockroaches, Keith Richards, and Wrestling with Cards.
Oh, I was going to say cockroaches and Keith Richards. That's about the only people that are watching my videos right now.
That's okay. Well, now they have something to watch.
There we go. All right, guys. Thanks for listening. We really do. We joke around a lot, but this is all about having fun, providing you guys information, and just we wouldn't still be doing this if you guys were not out there listening and giving us feedback, be it good or bad. So we thank you guys for sticking around with us, and we'll just keep putting out the content for you. And if you got any questions, let us know. Links in the show notes to everything we've talked about as far as social platforms, websites, and all that. Until next time, see ya.